And we understand if you're getting tired of all the chemistry. But remember that that's where all the flavor in wine comes from. And really, it makes up a tiny amount in a bottle of wine. A wine is 95% water and alcohol. The last little 5% is everything else. All the color, tastes, textures, and smells that make every single wine different are down to the differences in that 5%. How that 5% changes is what we are currently learning about. We have almost finished with the grape and the tiny particles inside it, and will soon be moving to the open air of vineyards to learn about soil, weather, and how all these external forces change the makeup of grapes, and, of course, in the end, the flavor of wines. The last group of chemicals we are looking at are tannins. Tannins are chemicals that are found throughout nature in the barks of trees and in fruits including grapes. On vines, tannins are found in the stalks, seeds, and grape skins, and have a bitter taste and astringent texture. Even if you have never drunk wine before, you have probably come across tannins in a cup of very strong tea. If you haven't, all you need to do is make a cup of tea and leave the tea bag in the cup for 15 minutes. Take a sip, and you will feel the inside of your cheeks drying out and a taste of bitterness on your tongue. Those are tannins at work. Wine fact: the word tannins gives its name to people who make leather. They are called tanners. This is because they use large amounts of tannins to turn animal skins into leather. In fact, when you taste tannin, that drying sensation is the tannins trying to turn your cheeks into leather. Different varieties of grapes have different amounts of tannins. Varieties with smaller berries and thicker skins will have more tannins than those with thinner skins. Grapes such as Cabernet Sauvignon, Nebbiolo, and Syrah are known for having high amounts of tannins, while the thin-skinned Pinot Noir has less tannin. Depending on how a grape is grown and how the wine is made, wines will have different amounts of tannins. We have learned how as grapes ripen, the sugar increases. Tannins also ripen on the vine. Underripe grapes will have harsh, hard tannins with lots of astringency. But if the grapes ripen properly, the tannins will be soft and velvety. Tannins can also come from oak barrels in which wine is sometimes stored. These are known as wood tannins. We'll learn more about barrels in later lessons. So tannins are a group of chemicals that give wine a bitter or astringent flavor. Why would anyone want that? Wine is a complex drink. The complexity comes from its ability to have a whole range of aromas, tastes, and textures in a single glass. If the grapes are grown well, and the wine has been made carefully, tannins add to this complexity. They give support and structure to a wine. How can liquid have structure? It is the combination of the different textures in the wine that give the wine's flavor a shape on the palate. Remember how we imagined the flavor of a wine as a painting? Tannins are part of the structure that gives the flavor of the wine its size or dimensions. Tannins also help a wine to age. One aspect of wine we've only touched on briefly at the very start of the course is how wine is special for being able to improve over time. Not all wine is meant to age, but those that do can become very complex as flavors develop and change. Tannins are one of the reasons that this is possible. Young red wines generally have more tannins than older red wines. This is because over time the tannins and other chemicals slowly join together. This is called polymerization. It's a big word, but it's simple to understand. All of these chemicals that you can't see in wine slowly merge. It's like they hug each other so tightly they become one. And as they join together, they get heavier and heavier until they can't be suspended in the wine any longer, and they sink to the bottom. This is the sediment you will sometimes see in old wines. Wines that are meant to age need to have enough tannins left in the wine to be balanced, so they start out with lots of tannins. So by the time they are developed and complex, just the right amount of tannins have dropped out of the wine. This is also why older red wines have a lighter color and have a softer, less tannic taste. The colour and tannins have literally fallen out of the wine. Well done in learning about the grape and what's inside each one.